Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's tutorial, we're going to design a modern and elegant cosmetic product hero section. The kind of design you'd see on high-end skincare or beauty brand websites. But here's the best part. This prototype isn't just static. It's going to be a next-level animated hero section with smooth transitions, layered depth, and that premium glow effect that instantly grabs attention. We'll start by setting up the layout and navigation, add our product visuals, and then bring everything to life with subtle motion and micro interactions. You'll learn how to blend luxury aesthetics with functional UI design, so it not only looks stunning, but also feels professional and user-friendly. So if you're ready to take your Figma skills to the next level with this animated hero section, let's jump right in. So guys, as usual, I've already added some of the basic setup to speed things up. I've included a few images, text styles, color styles, and a blur effect. I've also set up a grid system, so our layout stays clean and perfectly aligned throughout the design process. These are the text style properties, so if you want to note them down, go ahead. And also I've added 2 color styles for this design. Actually, in this tutorial, we're mainly focusing on the animation part rather than the overall design. The layout and styling are already kept simple, so we can spend more time creating those smooth transitions and next-level animated effects inside our hero section. So yeah, this one's all about bringing motion and depth to your UI, making it feel more interactive and alive. So we've added a frame as the first step of our design. This will act as our main artboard where the entire hero section will be built. Next, we need to add our grid system to this newly created frame. The grid helps us maintain proper spacing, alignment, and structure, so everything stays clean and consistent while we start placing our elements. I've simply added a random background color for now, just to get a better visual feel while designing. We can always change or refine it later once the main layout is ready. Now, I'm going to start creating the navigation bar of our hero section. This will include the logo, menu items, and a call to action button to complete the top section of the layout. Maybe a slightly lighter background would look better for now. It'll help us see the text and elements more clearly while designing. We're just using this as a temporary color because later on we'll be replacing it with our actual background images to match the final cosmetic theme. So now I'm adding the 5 navigation links: Home, About, Shop, Collection, and Contact. These will sit neatly inside our navigation bar, spaced evenly for a clean and balanced layout. I'll also mark the Home link as the active tab, just to visually highlight which page the user is currently on. If I talk about the images you have already seen as assets in the workspace, those are AI-generated images. They were created using Figma's Make Image option, which allows you to generate realistic visuals based on a simple text prompt. And if you'd like to use the same images, I've added a download link in the description so you can follow along with the tutorial using the exact same assets. I'm going to speed up this part a little bit since the video can get quite long. It's just some simple adjustments and placements, so we'll fast forward through this section and move on to the more important parts in a moment. After adding all the navigation links, I'll now create the call to action button at the end of the navigation bar. This button will help guide users toward the main action, like Shop Now. Once that's done, our entire navigation section will be complete, and we can move on to designing the main hero area. And always, don't forget to rename your layers. It's a simple step, but it keeps your file clean and organized, especially when you start adding multiple components and animations later on. Now I'll take a copy of both images and add page ruler guides. We need to split these images into 5 pieces, and each piece will have a product from both images. Don't worry, I'll show you how to do this step by step so you can follow along easily. So like this, we can add the page ruler guides first. Once the guides are in place, we're going to split the images along all the ruler guides. This will give us individual sections for each product, making it easier to animate them later. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate both images 4 more times, so we have a total of 5 copies for each image. Next, I'll select all the images and align them to the left. This way, all of them are stacked, one on top of the other. Since we have 5 products in the image, we need 5 separate frames for each image. That's why I duplicated each image 4 more times, giving us a total of 5 copies for both images. Next, we arrange all the images one on top of the other, so they're perfectly aligned. Once they're stacked, we can split them into pieces easily. Just hold the Control key and drag the frame with your cursor to create each slice. This makes slicing quick and precise for every product section. While you're dragging the frame with your cursor, you'll notice it will snap to the ruler guides. That's exactly the correct spot to split each piece, so your slices stay perfectly aligned and consistent. And just like this, we can split the other image as well. Follow the same process with the ruler guides, and all your pieces will line up perfectly for animation. Since the order of the images got shuffled, I'm now renaming them with new numbers according to the frames. This way, it's easier to keep track of each slice and maintain the correct sequence for the animation later. Now, we bring both sets of frames close together. Next, we group every piece with the same number from both images into 5 separate groups. This will make it much easier to manage and animate each product slice individually. All right, the hard part is over. Now we can arrange all the frames in the correct order, from Group 1 to Group 5, in our design as the background image. Everything is now ready for the next steps, and the hero section is starting to take shape. Make sure to arrange all the frames neatly, exactly like the original image. Keeping them properly aligned is important for a clean layout and smooth animations later on. Next, select all the frames we just arranged and send them back behind the other layers. Alright, now untick the Clip Content option of the frame. This allows you to see all the elements that extend outside the frame. Before moving on to the animation part, I'm going to add the main heading and description for our hero section. Once the text is in place, we can then move on to animating the product slices and bringing the hero section to life. I'll quickly add the heading and description section here, just to set up our hero content. Once that's done, we'll move on to the exciting part, animating the product slices and bringing the hero section to life. Alright, now let's go back to our frame and untick the Clip Content option again. This will make sure we can see all elements outside the frame, which is essential before we start animating the slices. Now, for the animation setup, we'll move the second image's second and fourth pieces to the top of the main frame. The first, third, and fifth pieces will stay in their original positions. This arrangement will create a nice effect when we animate, making the hero section feel smooth and dynamic. And make sure to fit and arrange all the pieces neatly with the frame. Proper alignment is important to ensure the animation looks clean and professional. Next, duplicate the entire frame we just arranged. Then, rearrange all the pieces so that the second image becomes the new background. This sets us up perfectly for the animation sequence between the first and second images. Alright guys, we've just finished all the design setup. Now we can clip the content for both frames and move on to adding the prototype connections. This is where the hero section will start coming to life with smooth animations. For the animation settings, I'm going to use the on-drag option for both interactions. But if you prefer, you can use on-click instead. It works just as well and won't affect the animation at all. It's really up to your design preference and how you want users to interact with the hero section. For the animation type, I'll be using Smart Animate with ease in and out back. I'm also setting the duration to 1000 milliseconds to get the smoothest and most natural motion. This combination gives our hero section a polished, high-quality animated effect that really stands out. Alright, everything is set up successfully. Now we can check out the final preview and see our next level animated hero section in action. The products, text, and animations all come together smoothly, giving a professional and dynamic look to the hero section. So the final output is perfect, exactly as we wanted. The hero section looks clean, dynamic, and engaging, with smooth animations that really bring the design to life. So that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you learned something new from this session. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below, and let's catch up in the next tutorial with something new and exciting. See you soon.